Hello and welcome back to Factor Y. We're going to continue expanding our factory today. First thing we need to do in order to do that is work on influencers. Influencers are these here. And it is basically, you can see it expands our buildable area. We're given 10 to start with, but after that we need to manufacture some. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that right away. We're going to look at the recipe down here. Influencers are right here, 4 cable and 4 wire. Cable is here and it requires copper plates, and wire requires copper plates. So let's go ahead and find some copper, which is up here. There's some coal down here, so we could sneak a little bit of coal out of here. Put a small influence factory together up here just so that we have some being produced. They won't be produced to ratio or anything, but it will at least get us started. So, alright, so I snuck some coal out of there, put a furnace up here, got copper being put into there, so that'll make us copper bars to get us started. We'll need 3 assemblers to make one making cable, one making wire, one making influencers. Alright, so we got wire being made down here. Wire gets sent to this one, which is the influence one, and this one, which is making cable. It takes 4 wire to make a cable, so this is not going to operate at any crazy speed or anything, but at least it's making them so that we have some to work with. So we'll let that run in the background so we have them to going. So let's start expanding down here. Let's grab the influence. Zoom out here. Let's just start putting them down so that we can... I've been doing research in the background and in between episodes so that we have some stuff to work with. Let's just go ahead and put it down one more, I guess. So we're going to start with a smelting column of iron. Let's see, the belts move at... It says transports up to 5 items in one direction, moving by 1/5 per CD, and it lists the CD as 20. So that basically means if we can put a iron ore onto here every 20 ticks, it would fill up the belt. So iron ore is mined at 256 per iron, so if we do 256 divided by 20, it comes out to 12.8. So we'll need basically 13 miners to fill a belt. So let's go ahead and stick down 13 miners down here. We'll need basically the same amount of coal to fill a belt, and that way we can do a smelting column of iron. Alright, so the thing we'll have to watch on is we're going to start eating through power quite quickly. I'm already at 1.1 almost of 1.3, so you really got to watch power, because if you lose power, everything stops operating at 100% efficiency, and then you lose even more power because the miners aren't mining coal fast enough, and you have to turn a whole bunch of stuff off to get it back and running. So we're just going to put down a whole bunch of extra power to get that going. Alright, that should hold us for a little bit. Doubled our power. I've started some furnaces down here. We're going to not fill all these right away because it's going to require too much power, but we'll get there pretty quickly. So let's get the coal run up here and iron, and we'll start a bus down here somewhere and start building factories off the bus. Alright, so there's the start of our smelting column. We have room to expand it, but it's good enough for now to get us going. Gotta watch how much power I use. And I had to do some funky stuff over here because you want to make sure that these have 9 coal tiles in its area of effect, so kind of diagonal there works good. So we're pumping down iron down here. This is going to be the start of our bus. We're going to do first on it, we're going to do belts so we can get belts off of our temporary setup up here. Now belts are used in a lot of different recipes, it looks like. I haven't gotten very far, but I've been doing some research and I've unlocked crossing, a merger, and the splitter, as well as a swapper and a mixer. So if we look at some of those recipes, they all take belts and rods, belts and screws, belts and rods, belts and rods, belts and rods. So we're gonna need a whole bunch of belts. Alright, here's what I'm thinking. I think these two machines right here, this will make gears, this will make belts. So we'll have iron plates coming down this line as well as coming down probably this line. So we'll need one of these guys. Taking metal plates off the line, putting them in here, just so you can visualize it all. That'll be like that. And this will put metal belts onto this line right here. And so then we'll just do a couple of these. I think I can Control C, Control V this. Yeah, so I can just put one in like this, one in like that, and we can just extend them down as needed. Put more and more down. So this will make all belts. Belts will continue down here. Somewhere down here, loop back around. And come up this way. And then belts will be pulled into these machines. So this one is making the crossings. But like for instance, we'll make one down here. And this one will make... This one will make mergers. And we'll make another one down here make... This will make splitters. Now these both require rods. Rods and rods. So rods are just made from metal plates, so we'll bring down metal plates over here. Down this line. We'll grab plates off of there, and then we'll stick rods into here and here. And then we'll use this space here as a provider chest, so it can grab stuff from this one as well as from this one. And we'll just mimic this down here. It won't let me put it down there because we're need influencers, so let's copy this. So what I've been doing is just rotating these lines, taking turns filling them with iron. But I think now that we have some splitters made, we should be able to put some of those down. Let's see, that is number 4. I'll put that there, put that there, that there. So now we should be making, it's going to take a while to make all these because I set these limits to 50, so it'll make 50 of each item. I put 2 more down here. This is the, whatever these 2 are, we'll have to play around with these. One is a mixer and one is a swapper. It's good to go. I have a little one here, so this is a priority system here. This one takes belts off and puts in the provider, so it hits us first. So it'll always have belts here. It'll always take them off first, so it's kind of a priority system, and then it'll go down the line and fill them. So that's good there. So now we can go up to our starter base and delete. Let's see, this was making belts. Delete that. This is making gears for the belts. And this was making crossings, which we're now making down there. So we can delete all this. That just leaves this is making miners. So we'll have to leave that for now until we get that on the hub. Next, I think I'm going to work on is provider chests. I only have 3 left in my inventory, so we're going to need those because I feel like they're going to be used a lot. They require quite a bit of energy, 50, so I'm trying to cut back on how many I use of them. But Let's make up a temporary setup for those as well. We're going to have to get copper on the bus to do so, because I believe they require, let's take a quick look at them. They require a lot of stuff. So here's the provider chest here. 1 chest and 4 chips. So 1 chest requires 6 rod and 4 screws. So altogether 10 iron plates, which is quite a bit. And then the chips require an iron plate and 1 wire. So we're going to need wire on the bus, that, or we'll just put copper on the bus and make a temporary setup. So I'm going to, there's some copper over here. We're going to tap into that. We're going to have to bring some of these over. I'll just fill it out. So copper's up and running. Again, not fully hooked up yet, but we will eventually get there when we have enough power to do so. We're at 2.75 of 3.5 right now, so we're doing okay there. Let's take a look at, I just brought it down. The nice thing about these crossings is it's easy to cross belts, but it tends to lead to a lot of spaghetti because you can freely cross belts without too much worry. So, interesting. We'll see how it turns out. Let's put down some assemblers. Just start throwing some down here so I can... So this one, we need 1 to make provider. So that needs chests, so we're going to need 1 making chests. So this needs chips. This one can make chips. That needs iron plates and wires, so this one can make wire. So this needs copper plates to make wire. This makes wire and iron plates to make chips. Chips go to the chest, and then this needs chest. So this needs rods and screws. So it's, if I can get it selected here, this makes rods. This one will make screws. Okay, this is just a temporary setup, but we have copper plates. We can pull these right off the bus right here. And these all require iron plates. So this is the rods and the screws that'll be put into the chest maker over here. The chest can just go straight into here, so let's just go ahead and set this up. So this can go here and this can go here. We'll need 1 pulling from here and here, iron plates in, and this will send the chest to the provider maker. This will take chips over to here. This will take wire to the chip manufacturer, and this will grab iron plates. So we can just grab chips off, or copper off the belt here, off the bus. And then we can put down this is just a temporary setup. I'm going to get a more permanent setup. But then we need a crossing. You have to be careful what order you put stuff in, because otherwise the belts will get mixed up, and then you'll have to, I mean, you can click on a belt here and click this paintbrush thing, and it'll clear the contents of the thing, so it's not too bad if stuff gets mixed up. But we can just copy this and put this here, and that should actually be providers being built. We just gotta put down another one of these and put a provider for the providers. We'll limit that to, I don't know, 50. So that should be up and running. It'll make them super slowly because it's not to ratio or anything, but it will work. Instead of fighting power and adding power every couple minutes, I'm going to find a coal patch, this one or this one here, and make a big power plant so we can stop adding power plants every 5 minutes. If I've done my calculations correctly, I can support 50 power plants off of one full belt of coal. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. We got to just extend these over and grab the coal. Here's the power plant. I don't have enough power plants built, so as we build them, I will put them in. But there'll be 50 of them. So it should be enough power for a little bit. Next up, I think we're going to do arms. I'm going to do something similar. I think arms will probably be used in other recipes. So I'm going to do arms and then another secondary station next to it for building stuff that arms requires. A small setup to get this done. We have these two making arms. This makes gears, this makes arms. Spits them across the way here. Loads them up over here, and then this makes the long arms right now. And then gears and rods back here. We can expand this down as we unlock more items that need arms. And then we just finished the research, so let's go grab this one here, get the RT2 started. Then we can delete arms off of our beginner factory here, which is this setup here. Next up, I think we'll move. I'm going to work on trying to get rid of all this, get the starter base deleted all together. So next up will be these miners. We'll get these manufactured. Okay, so I moved a lot of stuff down. We got the miners here. We have what do we have here? Oh, the assemblers here, the furnaces here, and the burners here. So stone coming in, iron coming in, all the stuff we were making before. I added a smelting column of stone over here, so now we have plenty of stone compared to our starter base, which was one lonely miner. So we can get rid of all this. We can get rid of all this. Get rid of all this. Just cleaning it up. So basically get rid of all. Alright, so that's much cleaner now. This is gone too actually now. So all I have left over here is research and influence. So not too bad. Another thing to show you is modules. I've started messing around with modules. Modules are a factory in a factory basically. So I created this module here. It basically takes these yellow sources are input sources. You can input into them from outside, and so basically these two take iron, transfers it. This one makes a gear, this one makes a belt, and it outputs a belt. So if you go back to the factory, if you input iron here, it outputs belts here, and it shows you clearly that that's producing belts, and it requires iron. So pretty cool. It's kind of like a blueprint. I have to play around with it some more to get it to figure out how to maximize its efficiency. This has 341 ticks to produce a belt. That's from the time you put the iron in to the time it spits out a belt. Whereas I have to calculate this out and see what this is, but I'll play with it in the future and we'll go over it more in the future. But just so you know, that's what it is there. And it's easy to copy and paste it, and then you just go to this modules button, click on it, and you can put another one down anywhere you want. So it's pretty handy. The only bad part is I don't think there is a way to modify it, so if you want to modify it, you have to redo it. Right now it's the only one I have, so I can easily come back to it, but once I add a second one, this one will disappear. This one will disappear. So, future thing to play with. That's going to do it for this episode. Next episode we'll focus on research probably, as well as building the rest of the stuff we haven't built yet. So, That'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.